Message begins right now. The Arcturians through Suzanne Lai. We the Arcturians have come into your consciousness to remind you that you are not alone. The great change which is invisibly, and simultaneously loudly, occurring within your now. We will begin with what will change and then continue into the WHO, where, when and how components of this ongoing change. What will change, and is changing, is within the frequency of resonance of your current reality. Each reality has different peak moments of change at different matrices of reality, at different times. We will begin with what is a matrix of reality. To the human body, the matrix would be your skeleton, and for the Gaia, the planetary body, the matrix would be her planetary core. Humans stand upright and are up and down with the head at the top and the feet at the bottom. On the other hand, a planetary reality is round. Therefore the skeleton is more like the core of the planet. The core, as well as the systems that are attached to the core, creates the network through which the matrix changes will occur. In fact, the core, as well as all the systems that are attached to the core, create the central network from which the planetary or the personal reality, will transmute into a higher frequency of resonance. There are cores for every frequency of reality, and these cores create an energetic pathway through which the higher frequency realities can interface and interact with the lower frequencies of reality. Just as your physical self is connected to the physical cores of reality, your non-physical, fourth-dimensional and beyond, expressions of yourself connect to the higher frequency matrices. It is these higher frequency matrices, that are laid out like a long stairway, that allow an ascending one to follow their path of ascension. If you look out into your physical world, you will not be able to perceive your path of ascension, as it is not outside of you, but inside of your core. To the greater family, such as your Earth planetary family and your galactic family of your higher dimensional self, your greater family of humans can perceive your family as a whole. The galactics live in peace within their self within the galaxy because they are all connected to their inner core, which connects them to the inner core of all reality. These beings are no longer attached to just their personal core, but are also, and primarily, attached to their galactic core. On the other hand, when one's personal core is not connected to their planetary or galactic core, they are what humans call individuals. However, what third-dimensional humans often do not remember is that just as you have individual fingers, these fingers would not work if they were not connected to your hand, which is connected to your arm, etc., etc. The individual organs and body parts only function when they are connected to the whole, in this case, the whole body. In the same manner, we galactics know that we need to connect with our solar system, as well as our galaxy, which we perceive as the home of our solar system. In fact, we feel at one with all the members of our solar system, as well as our galaxy. As humanity moves more and more into their innate galactic consciousness, they too will perceive all the members of the Milky Way galaxy to be members of their greater family. Living in a third, fourth-dimensional reality is too often riddled with disagreements, arguments, fights, and even wars. However, fifth-dimensional humanoids live within operation of the one. Why is the third, fourth dimension not based on cooperation? The reason is that the fifth dimension does not have time and space, which is the operating system for the third, fourth dimensional realities. The reason for this is largely because the fifth dimension and beyond does not have time and space as their operating system. Time and space is important for a spirit to learn about individuality, which is the primary class, the class of individuality, that Gaia offers to her inhabitants. When there is the separation and individuality of time and space, there are times when people get along and sometimes when people do not get along. We now ask that you do not confuse the planet with the beings who inhabit that planet. Just as humans have a family system, planets also have a family system. Sometimes the families get along, and some do not get along. Long ago, when your solar system was young, There were many fights between the planets of this system, which is a primary reason why the Guardians of the Galaxy put an energy matrix around your younger planets of Earth and Mars. Venus, Gaia's planetary sister, was innately a planet of love and beauty and had no desire to fight. On the other hand, Mars, Gaia's planetary brother, enjoyed fighting with others. In fact, this fighting has greatly damaged the planet. However, Mars is where humanoids incarnate to learn how to live in a difficult situation and be a brave warrior. These humanoids often decide to incarnate on Gaia, and too often, they take their combative nature with them. Gaia is in between her loving, artistic sister planet and her combative other planet. Therefore, Gaia has taken the traits of both Venus and Mars. However, having the two extremes of Venus and Mars on Gaia's planet has caused many wars and destruction to her planet. Because of these extreme polarities of Venus and Mars, many warlike beings have come to Earth to enjoy the battle or, hopefully, to learn how to live in peace and love as was Gaia's true desire. As we have explained above, Gaia has a family system, which is her planetary system, her galactic system and her quadrant of space system. If the neighbors of an area get along, it is a calm, loving and cohesive neighborhood. In the same manner, when the planets of a solar system get along, it is a loving and cohesive solar system. Yes, planets are living beings. As we have said, Venus and Earth are loving sisters, whereas Mars is a bothersome brother. Therefore, Earth serves as a buffer between Venus and Mars, and as humans, which are accidents of both the love of Venus and the eternal fighting of Mars. Therefore, third-dimensional humans, which are actually higher-dimensional beings who choose to take a 3D form on Gaia's Earth, can have a pretty confusing existence. On the other hand, Gaia's sister Venus has only fifth-dimensional and beyond inhabitants, which make it a very loving planet. In fact, many non-humans, who are preparing to take an incarnation on Earth will take a few lifetimes on Venus to prepare for being a human. However, it is wise if they also take a few incarnations on Mars, as well. Earth, although as loving as Venus, at least initially, has taken on much of the combativeness of Mars. This combativeness has been necessary, due to humanity's third-dimensional consciousness, to protect their country or area. The problem looking into the higher and deeper reasons, which are based on Gaia's planetary system, but, largely to the power over beings that came to Earth to take over. Too many humans have taken on the attitude of power over others that the invaders to Earth brought with them. Earth beings also took on the "it is mine because I took it" attitude. The human settlers have lived for far too many incarnations. Most important, humanity has largely forgotten that Earth, Gaia, is a living being that can be harmed and can be destroyed. In fact, the destruction of Earth has greatly amplified within your recent times. It is for this reason that we galactics have come into your consciousness to assist you to remember that you too are a galactic that long ago, or recently, decided to experience being a third-dimensional humanoid being. We, your galactic family, realize that it is quite difficult for us, fifth-dimensional and beyond beings, to imagine how extremely difficult it can be for a third-dimensional human. The consciousness for third-dimensional humans ranges from the consciousness of a human or animal predator. In fact, the human predator is often much more vicious than any animal predator, all the way up in frequency to being the human who reaches a peak expression of consciousness, gives service to others, gives service to Gaia to others, eventually becomes an ascended master. However, ascended masters from Earth are few and far between. This is not the fault of Gaia, but the fault of humanity being not as evolved as the planet on which they live. Therefore, too much of humanity does not care for each other, nor do they care about their planet Earth. Unfortunately, these humans primarily, or totally, care about themselves, their land, or fame, their personal family, and other humans, their money, their possessions, their government, and some other humans. Fortunately, it does appear that more and more humans are beginning to care about Gaia. As humanity begins to expand their consciousness beyond their own personal life and begin to include the area of Earth they live in, the other area of Earth that needs assistance, as well as all the beings that reside in Gaia's earth, air, fire and water, their consciousness expands from personal consciousness into planetary consciousness. These awakening and awakened humans are awake to their higher consciousness, awake to their higher self, awake to the fact that they came to Gaia for Gaia, as well as for all Gaia's inhabitants, and not just for the human inhabitants. However, it is the human inhabitants that create the most damage and can give the greatest service. These are the humans, who are often galactics who chose to take an incarnation as a human, who'll remember, create, and walk the ascension stairway of awake to their higher consciousness, awake to their higher self, awake to the fact that they came to Earth, not for themselves, but for Gaia. These awakened ones have an awareness that they are multidimensional beings who have a third-dimensional human self, fourth-dimensional astral self, fifth-dimensional galactic self, sixth-dimensional and beyond expressions of their multidimensional self. These awake humans are aware that they, just as a tree has many branches, have many expressions of their self. A tree has a trunk, which has many trunks, which have many leaves, roots, and a core. If the core is healthy, the tree can remain healthy. But if the core of the tree is not healthy, the tree will not remain healthy. One of humanity's greatest core issues is separation from their own multidimensional self. As soon as a human remembers their multidimensional self, they realize that they are not just one human and realize that they are connected to all the higher dimensional expressions of their self, their entire galactic family, as well as the many different beings with whom they are invisibly connected. When Gaia is having a peak society or peak era, it is because the humans can see, realize, know, that there is a frequency of reality that connects all life. Just as a healthy tree has a healthy trunk, which is connected to the earth, and healthy leaves that are basked by the air, fire of the sun, and water from the rain. It is the connection to the core, which for humanity is the core of service to others, that assists Gaia to remain connected to her elements, elementals, her core, her system and her galaxy. How could anyone believe that they are alone? The answer to that question is that too many members of humanity forgot that they, the humans, were meant to be the keepers of Gaia. And why did they forget? The members of humanity who forgot, for there are many, many humans who have remembered and are now remembering, forgot because they were not connected to the elements and elementals of earth, the air, the fire, sun, light and water. However, humanity was very connected to money, ambition, fame, control, and power over others. However, humanity is beginning to awaken from their dark night to remember that they are not alone. We, your galactic family, who are your own higher dimensional expressions of the physical body that you are currently wearing. In other words, this is an interdimensional message from yourself to yourself. We, your galactic family, are always with you. In fact, we have always been with you, but your 3D senses could not perceive us yet. Now, as your consciousness is expanding, your perceptions are expanding as well. See through your heart to feel our interdimensional love. Feel that interdimensional love as you go about your daily life. Hear our messages as we send them into your heart and mind. Know that we are always with you. We, the Arcturians, and your galactic family send you unconditional love and multidimensional light. End of the message. Much love to all of you soul sisters, brothers. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get notified moment by moment. Watch DNA Awakening previous videos for a universal understanding. New subscribers will be updated with the latest articles and informations. We hope this channel has helped you discover where to start on your actual spiritual path. It's a good karma to put a like, comment, Subscribe and share with your beloved ones. Leave your suggestion in the field below. All the love to you, beautiful soul.